The phrase doing the inner work gets thrown around a lot. What does inner work mean? What are actionable steps I can take today to master inner work? How do I stay out of my own way to accelerate progress? By the end of this video, you will have 5 critical tools to become an inner work practitioner who gets results. Inner work is a skill, and once you master how to do it, you will start to see results. First, what is meant by inner work? With inner work, think healing and revealing. You heal layers of mind that create negative emotions and chaos, while revealing means revealing more of the deeper you to live more powerfully, on purpose, while loving the process. Let's do a quick exercise to show that there is a deeper you that is already enough. Love, peace, and light. Check in or allow yourself to become aware of how you're feeling your dominant thoughts and what's going on with your body. Just notice. I find it helps to imagine that I'm watching myself from another part of the room. With myself, I can start to see sadness, concern for the future, and a bunch of other things I wasn't aware of before. It's an ecosystem of energy expressing in ways that support and protect me. Just hold all you notice for now. Okay, now, with all you notice, can you also notice light? Hold both the sadness and the light. Can you also notice peace? Allow the sadness to either stay or go as you shift to being curious about peace. Eventually, emotions trail off in intensity when you start to relax into your core, which is awareness, light, peace, and love. Cool, okay. Let me unwrap the 5 core skills of inner work mastery. The first skill is simply relaxing into the awareness of being aware, but with a few adjustments. As you set the intention to relax, accept what you notice. Sadness, fear, and concern for the future don't feel pleasant, so it's natural to push them away. Just say hi and allow them to stay or go as you would allow a butterfly to stay or go in your open hand. Don't create a story about your victimhood or what your mother did or whatever. Just notice what is there and accept it as it is. By the way, acceptance doesn't mean you like it. It just means you acknowledge that it is what it is. So the first skill is to relax into awareness with acceptance and acknowledgement without the story. That sounds simple, right? It is, but your mind loves to create stories, and there's a part of you that might crave drama. The more you do skill number 1, the more you might notice that as emotions trail off, you become more aware of the part of you that notices everything. Again, don't create a story about this. But as the emotions trail off, you notice the part of you that just is, or what some call the witness. The cool part is that the more aware you are of this part of your being, the less you identify with the sad, not enough you, and the more you start to do life with less fear and more love. Remember not to force any part of the process. Instead, relax into awareness and accept what is there without needing to create a story about it. The second skill is releasing. When I said hold it all as you would a butterfly in your hand, able to fly or stay, that's a helpful form of releasing. You're not chasing away those bad feelings, but allowing them to be as they are while also giving them permission to let go. Check in right now to see how constricted you are versus feeling open. When we experience fear, we constrict our energy. It's a natural protective action to close in or constrict. Just let it go or release it. Many religious traditions include concepts like letting go and letting God. Do your version of that. Releasing is just that. Let it go to a higher power or a part of the universe that has your back. If you don't believe in a higher power, God, does releasing still work? Yes. Releasing still works if you set the intention to let go of what feels constricted to something outside yourself to deal with it. I've lost count of the people who have told me that they navigated heavy emotions and situations by releasing it to a higher power or something outside of themselves. Let it go. And when you do, you can start to notice that constriction has transformed to a more open feeling. And that feels good. Okay, so far we've talked about relaxing into awareness of being aware and releasing. Do this many times a day. Check in with what is going on in your inner world, relax and release, or give it permission to be dealt with by a higher power. The third skill is to understand more about the energies that show up often, because when you do, you're in a better position to know how to release it to change the pattern. Imagine that you can speak to those parts of you, the emotions that you notice. You are not your anger, but could you imagine talking to the anger to understand why it's there when it started, and if it would support you in a different way? I have a part of me that I call get lost. It's energy or emotion in motion that shows up when I feel disrespected. I cut off the person and feel good about doing so. Sometimes I cut someone off when I might have tried to see if the change was possible. So I talk to my get lost. Well, I imagine that I'm talking to that part from my core self. Hi, get lost. I'd like to know more about your purpose and what got you started. I sense immediately that it's about protection, and I also feel the love that this part of me feels for me when doing its job. If this sounds weird, just go with it, because whether or not it's true, I'm sensing something that is useful. When I ask about the origin, I see a flood of images where I was exploited but couldn't do much at the time to manage my boundaries. I also see situations where I continued in a bad relationship when all the signs were there to move on, but I didn't. I thank Get Lost for its role in keeping me safe. And I mean that. What do I do with that insight? I do skill number 4, which is to imagine or envision the best use of this energy. What would good look like? As I do so, I see myself using the Get Lost more skillfully, when I've done reasonable and wise repair but keep hitting toxic walls with the other person. I imagine this future as now, that I'm acting in this more skillful way. Sometimes it helps to first imagine myself in a parallel universe already acting in this more skillful way. Then I merge with the image to fully feel this reality. I give myself permission to act in this new way. Then I invite my Get Lost into this image to feel and experience this wiser version of Get Lost. Then I ask Get Lost if he and related parts can support me in this more skillful way of being. I say related parts because our inner world is like an ecosystem. Anger is a cousin to get lost because it often shows up when I feel like I'm being played. I imagine that my energy shifts to support this wiser version of me. Then I let it all go, thanking all involved that it is so. What is the fifth skill? Operate as if it were a reality in what I like to call surrendered excellence. That means stopping controlling the outcome and others and focusing on the immediate tasks and situations with as much excellence as you can offer. In surrendered excellence, there's no need to worry because you are focused on doing your best with what's in your control while letting go of everything else. When I'm in this mode, it's like a doubles tennis match. I manage the balls that come into my side of the court while knowing that the tennis pro beside me is more than capable of handling what is outside of my direct influence. Now that you know the 5 skills, let's put it all together. Skill 1 is relaxing into the awareness of being aware. See and accept what is. It is what it is. Skill 2 is releasing. If you hold resentment, let it go to a higher power to be resolved at the level with love and wisdom. Release your past and future as you have little direct influence on both. I like imagining the emotions as the butterfly in your hand, able to fly away or stay because pushing away emotions can strengthen them, and you can't change what you're not aware of. Skill 3 is selecting and understanding persistent emotions, or what we call parts. Hi, anger. Help me understand more about your purpose and what got you started. As you listen to understand, you'll gain insights that will help you when you practice the next skill, which is to imagine a more skillful use of your energy. What would good look like? Can you imagine it with such clarity that it can teach your energy ecosystem to shift to this reality? Then ask the parts of your energy involved to support you in this more skillful way. It might take many sessions to break through to the subconscious, but it will. I know this because you learn to respond one way to life, and with repetition, love, and patience, you can learn a more skillful way to respond. Especially when you do the final skill. Operate in surrendered excellence as if your energy already supported you in the new way. You experience gains. We heal in layers, so don't overreact to what feels like setbacks. Notice what is happening and take that into your awareness. Work of relaxing, releasing, understanding, shifting, and operating in surrendered excellence. That is the simple yet powerful journey of doing inner work. When your mind tries to make it more complicated, it's just your ego trying to keep you safe. If you got value from today's video and want others to find this content, drop a like and a comment. Thanks for joining us today at the Change Capability Institute.